Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupada Paramahංsapacharya Saraswata Sri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Natchikoti Vaishnavendra Ki Jai. Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Namaste Prabhu Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Bhakti Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Sri Radha Krishna Gupta Gupna Samakun Radhakun Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindama Dhamma Ki Jai. Madhura Dhamma Ki Jai. Navadvipa Dhamma Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dhamma Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Gangamaya Ki Jai. Gangamaya Ki Jai. Sandhya Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga.
Sri Guru and Gauranga. Namaste, Madhusriyamaya. Prahlada Vajatayane. Hiranya Kasi Purvashaha. Sivatam Kalari. Tito Nisima Padito Nisimo. Yato Yavitato Nisima. Mahir Nisimo Hridaye Nisimo. Muslim Muhammadan Sadatam Prakritye. Madhakar Kamala Vedayakam Abhutisindram Bhavita Hiranyakasipu Tanuprindram Kesavajata Madhari Rupa Jaya Jagati Sare Jaya Jagati Sare Jaya Jagati Sare. Kesavakita Narani Rupa Jayakati Sware Jayakati Sware Jayakati Sware Jayakati Lord Vasudev ki jai, Lord Maharaj ki jai, Shri Shri Gauratai ki jai, the Supreme Personalities of Godhead.
I think I am. Where you want to hear the class? Doesn't look like it. Where is everyone tonight? Start with our introduction prayer, page 1.
4659. 4659, that's a commendation.
Yes.
4659.
Om Jana Karmandasya Jana Jana Shalakya Tatumamita Mina Tasme Sukrave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Mama Vishtam Sapitam Yana Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamayam Dadati Swa Aditakam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakam Malam Shri Guru Vaishnavascha Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vivitam Sasajivam Savetam Savutam Parjana Sangitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Vivishkana Vita Ascha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dita Bhagavad Gopika Gopisha, Gopika, Kanto Radha, Kanto Namaste. Tapa Kanchakarangi Radhe Srimate Saraswati Pushpanam Sute Devi Brahmane Hare Priye Mancha Kapuruyascha Yugayascha Patitam Bhavamayo Vaishnavayo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Veda Gaya Sri Bhakti Saurabha Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Let's see here. We're on chapter 7, Knowledge of the Absolute. I think we left off around 15.
We should also recite the introduction sometime. The introduction is nectarine.
With the other introduction paragraph, the Imam Vivashvate Yogam.
Yes.
Imam Vivashvate Yogam Prakavam Aham Ayayam Vishvashvam Manavede Praha Manavishvat Rave Rave Imam Parampara Praptam Imam Raja Shayo Vidu Sakamina Ahaka Yoga Nashta Paratapa Sa Evayam Nahate Daya Yoga Gupta Bharatana Bhaktos Nitaka Chete Adashyam Edikta Sutaram. Did we leave off at 7:15 last time? Looks like that's where I know we're knowledge of the absolute.
Let's see.
17 is a long purport.
Looking like, right. We left off 7:15
Okay.
in terms of the purports we actually got to. In terms of the reading, the official reading, it was like 7:22.
Well, 7:22. Okay.
Or, yeah, we were starting on 7:22.
Oh, starting at 7:22.
Yeah.
Chapter 7, Knowledge of the Absolute, starting at verse 20, 22. Sataya Sardaya Yutas Yaga Manam Yate Lavate Chatata Kama Mayaveya Titam. Translation. Endowed with such a faith, he seeks favors of a particular demigod and attains his desires. In actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone. Text 23. Antalatu param tesham tatavate avadashyam evam deva yato yanti mapakta yanti mapakti.
Translation.
Men of intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited, temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the plans of the demigods, that my devotees ultimately reach my supreme plan. Text 24. Amyatam yatam apamam manyate mam lopudaya param bhavam ajantam mam amrutam. Translation. Unintelligent men who know me not think that I have assumed this form and personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is changeless and supreme. Text 25. Naham rakshasya sarvasya yoga maya samrakta mudo yam navijyanti loko mam ajam avyam.
Translation.
I am never manifest to the foolish and intelligent. For them I am covered by my eternal creative potency, Yogamaya, and so the lewd world knows me not, who is unborn and fallible. Text 26. Vedaham samatitani, vartanam mani, Arjuna, Vaivashyami Chabutani, Mamtu Vedanakashana. Translation. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me no one knows. Text 27. Icha Viksha Samutena Vardhan Vahina Bharata Sarva Bhutani Samamam Sarge Jyante Paratapa. O Sayana Bharata Arjuna, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, overcome by the dualities of desire and hate. Text 28. Yesham Tavanta Kastam Papam Dhamma Punya Karmanam Te Vadvakam Mahanurukta Bhajante Madhurita. Translation. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and this life, whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, and who are free from the duality of delusion, engage themselves in my service with determination. Text 29. Jaramanam Shantaram Shistaya Tanyatike Te Brahmata Vidyu Krishnam Adyaptam Karma Chakrinam. Translation. Intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in my devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental and fruitive activities. Text 30. Sahibhuta vidavayam mam sahijayam shadye vidu Prayana kale prichamam tevidu vitasya. Translation. Those who know me as the Supreme Lord, as the governing principle of material manifestation, who know me as the one underlying all the demigods, and as one sustaining all sacrifices, can with steadfast mind understand and know me even at the time of death. Chapter 8 has 1. Arjuna Vacha Kinda Brahmakyam Adayamam Kim Karma Vishukama Ahibhutam Shakim Pratam Ahidayam Kim Uchiyate. Translation. O Arjuna inquired, O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the self? What are the activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me. Text 2. Adiyajnana Katam Kotra Dehesyam Masuda Shadana Prayana Kadesha Katam Yenasi Yatmani. Translation. How does this Lord of sacrifice live in the body? In which part does he live? Al-Mahusinam. And how can those engaged in devotional service know the time of death? Final verse, text 3. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam Svabhavo Vayakam Vachate Uto Bhava Bhava Vishvarga Karma Samyatya. Translation. The Supreme Lord said, the destructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and the eternal nature is called Self. Action pertaining to the development of these material bodies is called karma, or fruit of activities. Text 23. Translation. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. Report by His Divine Grace, Mon-Sun. Some commentators on the Gita say that one who worships demigods can reach the Supreme Lord. But here it is clearly stated that the worshippers of demigods go to the different planetary systems where various demigods are situated. Just as a worshipper of the sun achieves the sun, or a worshipper of the demigod or the moon achieves the moon. Similarly, if anyone wants to worship a demigod like Indra, he can attain that particular god's planet. It is not that everyone, regardless of whatever demigod is worshipped, will reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is denied here. For it is clearly stated that worshippers of demigods go to the different planets in the material world, but the devotee of the Supreme Lord goes directly to the Supreme Planet of the Personality of Godhead. Here the point may be raised that if the demigods are different parts of the body of the Supreme Lord, then the same end should be achieved by worshiping them. However, worshippers of the demigods are less intelligent because they do not know to what part of the body food must be supplied. Some of them are so foolish that they claim that there are many parts and many ways to supply food. This isn't very segmented. Can anyone supply food to the body through the ears or eyes? They do not know that these demigods are different parts of the universal body of the Supreme Lord, and that in their ignorance, they believe that each and every demigod is a separate god and a competitor of the Supreme Lord. Not only are demigods parts of the Supreme Lord, but ordinary living entities are also. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the Brahmas are the head of the Supreme Lord, and the Kshatriyas are the arms, etc., and that all serve different functions. Regardless of the situation, if one knows that both the demigods and himself are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, his knowledge is perfect. But if he does not understand this, he achieves different planets where the demigods reside. This is not the same destination the devotee reaches. The results achieved by the demigods' benedictions are perishable because within this material world of planets, the demigods and their worshippers are all perishable. Therefore, it is clearly stated in this verse that all results achieved is performed by the less intelligent living entity. Because the pure devotee engaged in Krishna consciousness is devotional service of the Supreme Lord, achieves eternal blissful existence that is full of knowledge. His achievements and those of the common worshipper of the demigods are different. The Supreme Lord is unlimited, his favor is unlimited, his mercy is unlimited. Therefore, the mercy of the Supreme Lord upon his pure devotee is unlimited. So, as you see here, those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods. That's like a temporary heaven. You got a very nice long lifespan, sharp intelligence, all kind of opulences depending on which demigod you worship. But in the end, there's one thing that's for sure, death is coming. One's got to fall back down. Fall back down into the cycle of 8,400,000 forms of species. And hopefully that there's an opening for a human body when you fall back down. Which human body's quite rare. But right now, on this planet, it's time, there's approximately about 8 billion humans. If there are so many other humans, take the ant. There's 40 quadrillion ants. So, it's Much easier to get one of those bodies. You know, that's just one of the species out of 8,400,000 forms. You got mosquitoes and pointy-tailed yeah. Mosquitoes and all kinds of bugs and the animals and the pancakes. Oh my gosh, it's all the plants that come back as a tree. Having to stand there in one spot during the weather for hundreds of years. Being struck by lightning, being eaten by bugs. There's so many calamities that can happen, just staying in this cycle of birth and death and this cycle of samsara. But those, you know, that's the chances that they take that when they worship the demigods. They'll eventually, you know, they'll achieve a little bit of heaven for a while. Eventually they fall back down. That's where Bhakti Yoga comes in. We don't want to come back down. We don't want to be reborn into this cycle of birth and death, this cycle of samsara. You know, if we, for some reason, that we aren't quite successful in Bhakti Yoga this lifetime, well, at least we have somewhat of a fast pass back to human birth again. Try it again. And it's kind of like kind of imagine like an amusement park. You know, these you ever been to Disney World? You know, you got the best rides have the longest lines. You know, and these days they come out with what's called a fast pass. So you purchase this fast pass ahead of time and tells you, okay, be here at 2 o'clock and you can be, you know, the first one of the first ones in line. It doesn't matter how long the line is. You're there at 2 o'clock. You get put up front. That's the way I imagine, you know, when it comes with devotional service, it's like a fast pass back to humanity. If for some reason we don't quite succeed in our devotional service to get back to Krishna. Krishna's made a very, very easy way for us through Bhakti Yoga. There's in this age of Kali, there's no easier way than Bhakti Yoga. Lord Chaitanya, you know, with his unlimited mercy came, you know, told us to chant the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Told us to chant this and spread the Sankirtan movement. Move on to text 24. Unintelligent men who know me not think that I have assumed this form and personality due to their small knowledge. They do not know my higher nature, which is changeless and supreme. Report. Those who are worshippers of the demigods have been described as less intelligent persons, and here the impersonalists are similarly described. Lord Krishna is the personal form is here speaking before Arjuna, and still due to ignorance and personal sparity that the Supreme Lord ultimately has no form. Yamunacharya, a great devotee of the Lord, and the disputed succession of Ramanujarya, has written 2 very appropriate verses in this connection. He says, my dear Lord, devotees like Vyachite and Narada know you to be the personality of Godhead. By understanding different Vedic literatures, one can come to know your characteristics, your form and your activities, and one can thus understand that you are the supreme personality of Godhead. But those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance, the demons, the non-devotees, cannot understand you. They are unable to understand you. However, experts such non-devotees may be discussing Vedanta and the Upanishads and other Vedic literature. It is not possible for them to understand the personality of Godhead. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the personality of Godhead cannot be understood simply by the study of the Vedantic literature. Only by the mercy of the Supreme Lord can the personality of the Supreme be known. Therefore, in this verse, it is clearly stated that not only the worshippers of the demigods are less intelligent, but those non-devotees who are engaged in Vedanta and speculations on Vedic literature without any tinge of true Christian consciousness are also less intelligent, and for them it is not possible to understand God's personal nature. Persons who are under the impression that the absolute truth is impersonal are described as asuras, which means one who does not know the ultimate feature of the absolute truth. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that supreme realization begins in the impersonal Brahman and then rises to the localized supersoul. But the ultimate word in the absolute truth is personality of Godhead. Modern personalists are still less intelligent. They do not even follow their great predecessor. Shankaracharya, who was specifically stated that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And personalists, therefore, not knowing the supreme truth, think Krishna to be the only son of Devaki and Vasudeva, or a prince, or a powerful living entity. This is also condemned in the Bhagavad Gita. Only the fools regard me as an ordinary person. The fact is that no one can understand Krishna without rendering devotional service, without developing Krishna consciousness. The Gita confirms this. One cannot understand the Supreme Personality of God, Krishna, or his form, quality, or name simply by mental speculation, or by discussing Vedic literature. One must understand him by devotional service. When one is fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, beginning by chanting the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, then one can only understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Non-devotee personals think that Krishna has a body made of his material nature, and that all his activities, his forms, and everything are mind. These impersonalists are known as Mayavadis. They do not know the ultimate truth. The 20th verse clearly states, those who are blinded by lusty desires surrender under the different demigods. It is accepted that besides the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are demigods who have their different planets. And the Lord also has a planet. It is also stated that the worshippers of the demigods go to the different planets of the demigods. And those who are devotees of the Lord Krishna go to Krishna's local planet. Although this is clearly stated, the foolish and personal still maintain that the Lord is formless, and that these forms are impositions. From the study of the Gita, does it appear that the demigods and the abodes are impersonal? Clearly, neither the demigods nor Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, are impersonal. They are all persons. Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has his own planet, and the demigods have theirs. Therefore, monistic contention that ultimate truth is formless and the form is imposed is not the full truth. It's clearly stated here that it is not imposed. In the Gita, we can clearly understand the former of the demigods and the form of the Supreme Lord are simultaneously existing, and the Lord Krishna is Sat Chit Ananda, eternal blissful knowledge. The Vedas also confirm that the Supreme Absolute Truth is Ananda Dhamaya, Anandamaya, or ultimate, unlimited auspicious qualities. Or unlimited auspicious qualities. And in the Gita, the Lord says, although he is Aja, unborn, he still appears. These are the facts that we should understand from the Gita. We cannot understand how the Supreme Personality of God can be impersonal. The imposition theory of the impersonalist monist is false as far as the statements of the Gita are concerned. It is clear here in the Supreme Absolute Truth for Krishna as both forms of personality. One cannot understand Krishna without devotional service. That's where it comes back to again, where the more that we are surrendering ourselves, the more we're giving ourselves to Krishna, the more Krishna is giving himself to us. He does not give himself very easily. We really have to, learn how to surrender. To learn how to surrender, we find a pure devotee, we find a spiritual master. Spiritual master will help us learn how to surrender properly. Without spiritual master, it's quite almost nearly impossible to reach Krishna. It's kind of like trying to win the lottery. Winning the lottery probably is actually easier than finding Krishna without a spiritual master. Or getting honorary degree at Harvard, never attending. That's probably even easier than reaching Krishna without a spiritual master. But we can only understand Krishna through devotional service. The more we engage in bhakti yoga, and the more that we are surrendering ourselves into it, the more Krishna is giving himself to us. Krishna is conquered by the love of his devotees. Like in this past month when we were celebrating Damodara, and Mother showed up, that mad little Krishna, she was stealing butter again. Finally got him caught. She starts trying to tie him up to a mortar. Takes a rope and, tries to get it all the way around him, and 2 inches too short. Ties another piece of rope onto that, tries it again, and still 2 inches too short. Kept coming up 2 inches too short. But because of her determination and her love for Krishna, he allowed himself to be bound. Not even the demons can do this. The Asuras have tried to come all kinds of ways to become gods, to become the supreme, to be the conqueror of the worlds. Hiranyakshipu performed massive austerities, thought he was going to outsmart Vishnu, outsmart him, and become more powerful by all these blessings, these benedictions that were given to him by Brahma. But unfortunately for Hiranyakshipu, Brahma is just another part and parcel of Krishna. So all these benedictions were allowed by Krishna himself, by Vishnu. There's not a single benediction you can't get without Krishna's approval, without his say so. Krishna wants you to live. There's nothing that's going to be able to kill you. Krishna wants you to die. There's nothing that's going to be able to save you. The demigods have tried all kinds of ways. You read through the stream of Bhagavatam, all kinds of stories of how demons have tried to conquer, tried to rule, and always come up short. Move on to text 25. I am never manifest to the foolish and intelligent. For them I am covered by my eternal creative potency of Maya. And so the deluded world knows me not, who am unborn and powerful. Before, it may be argued that since Krishna was present on this earth and was visible to everyone, then why isn't he manifest to everyone now? But actually, he was not manifest to everyone. When Krishna was present, there were only a few people who could understand him to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the assembly approved when Shishupala spoke against Krishna being elected president of the assembly. Bhishma supported him and proclaimed him to be the supreme god. Similarly, the Pandavas and a few others knew that he was the supreme, but not everyone. He was not revealed to the non-devotees and the common man. Therefore, in the Gita, Krishna says that, but for his pure devotees, all men considered him to be like themselves. He was manifest only to his devotee as the reservoir of all pleasure, but to others, to the unintelligent non-devotees, he was covered by his infernal potency. In the prayers of Kunti in the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.18, it is said that the Lord is covered by the curtain of Yoga Maya, and thus ordinary people cannot understand him. Kunti prays, "O my Lord, you are the maintainer of the entire universe. The devotional service to you is the highest religious principle. Therefore, I pray that you will be always, but also maintain me. Your transcendental form is covered by the Yoga Maya, the Brahma Yogi. It is the covering of the internal potency. May you kindly remove this flowing effulgence and impedes my seeing. Your Satchitananda Vigrah, your eternal form of bliss and knowledge." This Yoga Maya curtain is also mentioned in the 15th chapter of the Gita. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his transcendental form of bliss and knowledge, is covered by the eternal potency of Brahma Yogi, and the less intelligent and personalists cannot see the Supreme on this account. Also in the stream of Bhagavatam 10.14.7, there is a prayer by the Brahma. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, O Super Soul, O Master of all mystery, who can calculate your potency and pastimes of this world. You're always expanding your eternal potency, and therefore no one can understand you. Learned scientists and learned scholars can examine the common constitution of the material world, or even the planets, but still they are unable to calculate your energy and potency. Although you are present before them, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, is not only unborn, but he is avyanta, inexhaustible. His external form is bliss and knowledge, and his energies are inexhaustible. So Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure. He's so merciful. He's trying to fulfill all our desires. And when we're desiring things that aren't of him, that's his potency covering. Oh, you don't desire me, just desire these material things. Well, I'm gonna give you those material things. But we can't see him when we're desiring these material things. With all these material things, this is just a temporary illusion. Maya. When Krishna is trying to fulfill all our desires, where Bhakti Yoga comes in. When we're trying to transform our desires to desire them totally, to desire them only. For devotional service, to kirtans, to arti, everything that we're doing. We're preparing food. Everything we're doing for Krishna. We're trying to transform our desires to desire Him. We're not trying to eliminate desire. We're not Buddhists. Buddhists, they don't believe in a God. It's kind of comes with this nonsense of, well, everything happened by chance. This universe was created out of nothing. And out of this nothing, life was created from this out of chance. And out of this chance, life became intelligent enough to start studying the universe just by chance. It's kind of a ridiculous thing to think about. It takes a lot of faith. I think it takes greater faith to think to believe that the universe was created from nothing than there's an ultimate God who created everything. To me, it's become hard to fathom everything came from nothing. I haven't seen, nothing just pop out of nowhere yet. I mean, everything, something pop out of nothing. But I just lost. Any questions, comments so far? Do you have any questions?
You were talking about,
Go ahead.
yeah, you're talking about, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you were talking about, you were talking about how you don't think, nothing, that the universe was created by nothing, so therefore there has to be a God.
Nowadays, some of the scientists are rejecting the Big Bang Theory. And the astrophysicists are now saying that everything sprung out of a black hole a very long time ago. So their theories are always changing. But real knowledge doesn't change. Real knowledge is coming down from Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam, the Vedas. And you can take this kind of knowledge to the bank. It's real. It's not counterfeit.
Yes, I've also heard about those theories that universe is because of the result of a black hole. But it still comes to that question: is like, where did the black hole come from? If there's this black hole, there's black holes within our universes. Does that mean there's other universes within those black holes? How far does this go? I mean, they all have to come from something. It's when you look at a city, you realize there had to be a designer for the city. There had to be workers that put the city together. Same thing with the universe. It's everything is when you really look at how the universe functions, how life functions. It is so intricately connected that there have to be intelligent design behind it. I mean, be absurd to think that this was created by chance. Oh, we got another comment here.
So, yeah, kind of weird, really. Yeah, I saw that article. It's quite some time back. Is that at the other end of the black hole is something called a white hole?
Yeah, I was just thinking
Right,
about.
so what that white hole is, that's another universe. So when the universe dissolves, it gets crunched up. And oh yeah, that's what it is. The universe gets dissolved and crunched up in a black hole, and everything goes, all the matter goes to the black hole and comes out in a white hole, and creation starts again in a universe. So what they're actually saying, one of the possibilities were perhaps the universe existed before it ended, before this universe began. And that was something just won't be able to know. Right. So yeah, it's all excitement, matter, and images. So.
I just told you, so well, I rightly pointed out, scientists come up with new things again and again. They talk about supernova, then corpuscle theory, and it's like juggling of words instead of just accidentally and everything again has to be the scientific for it. Like rather, the naming conventions what they give you, instead they could replace it with God, they could make it much more stable and substantial. Because even scientists like Einstein, he himself was a promoter, he was an atheist, he believed in God. So there are also scientists who value the creation and the purpose behind it, but there are also scientists who negate it. So therefore, there's also a difference of opinion amongst the scientific community. Therefore, I think I was reading an article called The Spiritual Scientist. So it's written by this Chetan Prabhu, where he tries to link spirituality and science together so that we can bring a cohesion between these two topics. So.
So yeah, this illusion that is covering everything. There's many theories come out. I even remember reading a book years back. It was discussing whether they were doing all this physics and mathematical calculation, trying to figure out if the universe will keep on expanding out into nothingness, or if gravitational pull was going to pull it back together again for another Big Bang. They can speculate and create all kinds of theories about this illusion, this temporary illusion. Why is it temporary? Because it's always changing. Every single moment is changing. And there's one absolute about this material universe, that everything changes. And that's why it's important to understand that our senses can be easily deceived. Our senses are imperfect. We can only see so many wavelengths, the light wavelengths. There's a very, very small portion of what we can actually see. There's unlimited number of light wavelengths that we can't see. Same thing with hearing frequencies. There's only a very small percentage or a very small minute amount of frequencies and decibels that we can pick up audibly. And there's unlimited amounts that we can't hear. Same thing with smells, and same thing with things that we touch and feel. Our senses are imperfect. We trust our senses, it's like, well, I'm not seeing is believing. And it's like, not necessarily. It's, I've seen the Statue of Liberty disappear. Back in the 80s, the great magician David Copperfield, made the whole Statue of Liberty disappear. And, made it reappear. Real?
Yeah.
No. Good.
It's illusion.
It was illusion. That's how easy our senses can be fooled. Our senses can be fooled in all kinds of ways. Nature uses this deception all the time. The predator, uses camouflage to camouflage himself from the prey, and the prey uses camouflage to camouflage himself from the predator. Nature's full of deceptions. The world is always trying to deceive our senses. You go out to the desert, desert looks flat and barren, just nice and flat, far as you can see. Until you go out and hike through the desert, try to reach the distant mountains that you see. I did this once when I was living down in Arizona, down in Lake Havasu, Arizona. We was surrounded by desert. We had mountains off in the distance, and from the hike, from looking at them, it's like, I could probably get to those mountains probably about a half a day's hike. So I set out, I had water with me, and started walking through the desert, and thought this would be an easy hike. It all looked flat. Where was I wrong? Because there's huge ravines. You couldn't see them in the distance. But the huge ravines from every time it rained, it would only rain like once a year there in Arizona. And when it rained, it just downpour like a monsoon, created rivers, flash floods, which created these deep ravines, which, the further you got out of the desert, the deeper the ravines got. So you ended up climbing down one side of the ravine and climbing up the other side. It became a very, very treacherous hike. I never did reach those mountains.
Wow.
Tried several times, never did reach them. You know, the longest I went out there was, you know, for a full day and was, you know, hiking back, you know, partially in the dark. You know, so if I was going to reach those mountains, I would have to probably, you know, take a tent with me and spend a few nights out there. But, yeah, nature is always trying to deceive us. You know, our senses are imperfect. And it's these senses, that we're using to try to go after, you know, to gratify the senses. You know, it's a diminishing return out there trying to enjoy ourselves in the material world. You know, you take, you know, someone's favorite movie. How many times can they watch that movie before they find no more enjoyment? How many times can you eat the same kind of food that was once your favorite food before you find no enjoyment? It's a diminishing return, material world. It's all illusion. The more that we try to enjoy the material world, the more we realize, well, yeah, this is fine for a while. Well, I want to try something else. It's like the grass is always greener somewhere else. That's why Christian consciousness is so important, because we're wanting out of this cycle of birth and death, and this illusion of, you know, so-called happiness. This, you know, it's a happiness that is very short-lived. It's a fleeting moment. You're happy for a few moments, and the misery's back. You know, it's back, you know, real quick. So we're working like acids to have that little few precious moments of happiness, and then it's gone. You got to work like an ass again, you know, to get to that again. Anyways, any last minute questions or comments? We'll wrap it up. Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Jaya.